Hello everybody, in today's video, if you're watching this, that means you have fell for propaganda, okay? There's no exceptions. There's nothing you can do about it. If you're watching this video, you have fell for propaganda. Doesn't matter what the propaganda is or where it comes from, you have at least once in your life fell for propaganda. And what do I mean by propaganda? I mean by political parties making you think you have to believe in a certain way, especially if you are, hardcore or have really strong political beliefs. And this is regardless of where you are politically, and not just politically, but in religion and sports and movies and TV shows, and also, what news you like to watch, what food you like to eat. You know, if this was 1,000 years ago, that system wouldn't really exist. It's a system that came around, I want to believe, the 1930s. But, I mean, propaganda did exist prior to that. But, it didn't really get called propaganda, nor did it get popularized as propaganda until that time period, you know? And because of it, you have a lot of people that know what propaganda is. And good or bad, you still fall for propaganda every day. I could be like, oh, there's this extremist propaganda, or whatever that you fall for. But guess what? If you're watching this video, that means 100%. There's no buts, ifs, or ands about it. If you are watching this video, regardless of who you are, of where you've been, or whatever you may become, you have fallen for propaganda at some point. All of it is propaganda, the good and the bad. All of it. All of it. And the only real reason why they talk about the propaganda, the stuff, they only really talk about it like it's a bad thing, which it often is. But the reason why they do that is because they want you to be worried. They want you to think, oh, the propaganda's gonna get me, so that way you fall for their propaganda. They want you to trust the conspiracy theorist, okay? They started getting a little iffy on it at first, and they used to they used to be really freaked out about that during the 60s, 70s, and the 80s, especially the 70s, but that's a different story for another time. Well, that's a different story for basically any other YouTuber that's not me to cover. But anyway, basically the reason why, at least in my time, people are trusting conspiracy theorists is because a lot of these conspiracy theorists have been, for years, maybe even decades, paid by governments you know about, governments you believe in. And this is not no secret world order government. No, these are your current world power governments. Whatever country you may be from, whatever town you may be in. You may think you're safe with a VPN, brother. They are the VPN. They know you. They know everything about you. Okay? They know what language you speak. They know what ethnicity and race you are. They know what sex you are. They know what age you are. They know what height, weight, size, and every way. They know every single hair on your body if you have any. They know when you're asleep. They know when you're awake more than Santa Claus does. Okay? They know more about you than they do about themselves. That's how much they know you. Okay? That's how much they know you. Okay? To the point where they could make an entire genre of full-length YouTube content off of your entire existence. And the only real reason why you may be acknowledging this through this video or acknowledging it now is because I told you. And like I said, they want you to believe in the conspiracy theorist. They want you to think it's some big crazy thing because they can still control you. They can still control you if you think it's the alien space Jews. Okay? The alien space Jewish motherfuckers. Must have been the group I disagree with. Must have been the group I disagree with. Brother. Or sister. Depending on whoever is watching this. I'm telling you right now. The side that you agree with is most likely the side that is wanting you to fall for the propaganda more because they know you trust them. Okay? They want you to hate the other side. They want you to love their side. Or maybe even hate their own side. Why? Because they can still control you. As long as you think you can just rule the world or like take over their government like you're the Joker, they're safe. As long as you're not a real serious government slow threat where you have lawyers, doctors, all these groups of people basically pull off a Jeffrey Epstein when it comes to lists and stuff. That kind of thing. Or Jeffrey Epstein the first. I should say. If you pull that off, you genuinely start becoming a serious threat to them. Okay? Jeffrey Epstein did kill himself. Most likely. Alright? Because if I was him, I would probably do the same thing too. Because, bro, like, he was at that point. He was at that point. And even if he didn't, he still died, He still died. Because you have to realize that I think he actually died, but people still believe he's alive. And I think he set up a system before he died intentionally because he knew he was probably going to die anyway. And he probably just put that in place so that way people can, look around, He probably just kind of gave up and started to go, fuck it. If I die, that means everything has to go with me, That kind of mentality. But who knows? Maybe he really is alive. But all I can say is, he may have been a criminal, but he wasn't spreading propaganda. He wasn't truly spreading propaganda. He was trying to tell you something about the government, okay? Because the biggest secret shadow government that controls all the governments, the big-time governments that control the big-time governments, like the UN, all those kind of groups, the freaking BRICS, those kind of groups. The secret societies that control them, this secret society controls that. And guess what? That secret society is balkanizing because of this shit. And you might not know who a Jeffrey Epstein is. You might not know who say, the UN is. But what I can tell you right now is if you're watching this, what that really means is if you listen to anybody who says anything, you gotta be at least somewhat suspicious, okay? Alright? Doesn't matter what the topic is. It could be politics, it could be religion, it could be sports, it could be movies, it could be TV shows, it could be video games, it could be furniture, it could be food, it could be housing, it could be, well, really anything. And it could possibly be camping, Many things. because you're not really living your life. You're living a life to a schedule somebody made 200 years ago. Or maybe even further, depending on when you're watching this again. But it's constantly changing because they know they can't trust each other anymore. They're blaming each other. They're balkanizing. They're changing everything. And on top of that, the generations are shifting gears, meaning whatever Generation X has, they're coming up next. Well, that specific generation, at least in my time. I don't know what yours is. And on top of that, we are also in a major, like, historical time where basically every couple of days or every couple of hours, there's at least one major historical event going on. And on top of that, we're in the golden era of my century. I'm coming from the 21st century. I'm using the Gregorian calendar, by the way. I come from the 21st century. It is 2026 AD. And at this time, I'm telling you, in my time, it is the beginning of this century's golden age. Well, what is a golden age? Basically, every decade has its advancements. It still advances, but there's about an 80-year span where it kind of slows down. There are still historical events that still go on. There's still things that go on, but not as quick. And 2025 AD is the year that this time frame began. But now that we're starting to get into it, at least for me anyway, you start to feel it, you start to know it, you know? And if you're a historian in the future who studies in the specific time period that I am from, you would know that Charlie Kirk was a big deal. You would know that this Charlie Kirk guy, I don't know how much of an impact he made, depending on whenever you're watching this, I don't know. But he was basically a conservative or conservative right-wing political commentator, and in 2025, he got shot in the neck due to some crazy person or whatever. Because people are shocked that guns, when you buy them, can shoot from a faraway distance. How can that not be professionally done? Brother, all you have to do is find a nut job who's willing to buy any kind of gun, and you can get it to shoot anywhere. Okay, even children can do that. And that's what they tend to forget. And I'm not saying that everybody's all of a sudden shooting guns, but still, regardless, all of this said and done, it caused a big cadabble, and people were making fun of his death, and people were not taking it seriously. It's to the point where I have a hard time taking it seriously, you know? And in the future, they will probably call it Kirkface, you know? Or I would say, yeah, probably Kirkface. Where they like take a person's face after their death and basically use it like it's like dead person blackface, so to speak. You know? Where they basically use it as, oh, blackface, but from a dead person, making fun of the person, basically. And yeah, it's not very good. It's really hard. It's so different now. Everything's changing. Nothing is what it once was, and nothing will be what it once was. But it will be whatever your future is. It will be whatever the time period that you're watching this will become. And then after that, it's who knows what, you know? Anyway, yeah, if you're watching this, you definitely fell for propaganda. There's no doubt about it. There's no questioning at all. So if you watch this, yeah, you fell for it. It's not a joke. It's not something to make fun of. You literally have fell for propaganda. You might think you're smart. You might think you're genius. You might think you're great. But if you're watching this video, or if you even looked at this video, you acknowledge that you fall for propaganda daily, and nightly, all the time. Anyway, that's all I got for today. And yeah, I'm going to end this video here. And just remember, stay ugly.